This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. We all have things that we need to remember to do. That's why we have to-do lists. Or in our modern smartphone-filled world, to-do list apps. But not every reminder fits into a daily to-do list. Buy rare Albanian nose hair clippers is something you can only do when you're actually near the Albanian antique store all the way across town. It's not important enough to make a special trip, and your nose hair is generally well behaved. Oh, but gee, when you're in the area, you really want to pick up a pair. There's something about the combination of lapis lazuli and amethyst that you just can't get out of your head. Other reminders don't apply yet. Yesterday was a total solar eclipse. Bernice discovered the hard way that Audrey 2s get a little bit testy during an eclipse. At the next eclipse, she'd like to remember to pick up some restraining straps, just in case. But that's 7 years away. A normal to-do list doesn't quite work for cases like these. Fortunately, many mobile to-do list apps have features that can help. Get reminded when you're where you need to be. Even though our phones make it feel like we can be in any place at any time, the reality is that we can't, at least most of us can't. And for some tasks, we really do need to be in the right place at the right time. Luckily, our smartphones can help remind us when we get there. A location-based reminder goes off only when your GPS says that you're near a certain location. It will encourage you to visit a specific place when you're near it, but it won't nag you about it until then. Next time you're on your way to get a tattoo across town, as you travel past the Albanian antique store, your nose hair clipper reminder will pop right up. You can swing by, take those puppies for a test drive, and be all set for your tattoo. Indeed, do it right, and as you're laying on the table having Bessie the cow etched into your upper arm, your tattoo artist might look down and say, "Wow, you have the most neatly groomed nose hair of any of my clients this week. You've become a semi-celebrity, and all thanks to a location-based reminder." We can also use location-based reminders for daily errands that depend on location. My grocery store is between the subway stop and my home. When we're running short on a critical staple like matzah or saffron, a location-based reminder set to go off near the grocery store is a perfect trigger. Next time I walk home deep in thought, my reminder will tell me right when it's the perfect time to pop in to shop. You can even set a general location-based reminder for the supermarket, and in the notes section, write your full grocery list, so as soon as you walk into the store, your shopping list will show up on screen. Use location-based reminders for cleanup after a trip. Location-based reminders can be handy when traveling because you know that certain tasks are done in certain locations. Before traveling, I take my local subway pass, my frequent eaters card, and my access cards for the local nuclear reactor, and I hide them somewhere in my house so they don't get lost. Then I set a location-based reminder for when I get back to the house to remind me where I put them so they can go back in my wallet before a wild night on the town. No one likes the embarrassment of being unable to get into the nuclear reactor on a Saturday night. Keep in mind that location-based reminders only work when your phone's GPS is enabled. So if you plan to rely on location-based reminders, as I do when I put my ID cards in their hands, make sure that you turn that on. Yeah, the NSA will track you, but honestly, don't you think that they should know where your nuclear reactor pass is too? Use future reminders for future obligations. Sometimes we need to set reminders for ourselves, but they'll be totally irrelevant until the far-flung future. It doesn't make sense to make a handwritten note for something that needs to be done in 6 months, but we can tell our future selves to make that note using a future reminder in a to-do list app. Say you need to get your parent a gift for Parents' Day, but you don't want to worry about it until June. If you put it in a future reminder for June 1st, you'll know when to start worrying so you can really indulge yourself in the stress and anxiety that we all feel when pressured to show our feelings to someone we love. Bernice has a reminder set for January of 2024 to remind herself to buy restraining straps for the Audrey 2s before the next solar eclipse. She can just set it and forget it, feeling secure in the knowledge that when the time comes, so will the reminder, and then the restraining straps. Use future reminders for postponing responsibly, because sometimes our regularly scheduled lives are interrupted by a burst water pipe or an alien invasion, and we're forced to put whatever we're doing, or whatever we want to do, on hold. Future reminders can help us make sure that we don't forget about the things we need to do after we put them down. So let's say that you're throwing a Super Bowl party and you clean up fast by stuffing all of your receipts in a paper bag behind the couch. Of course, none of us have ever really done this. Ha 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 ha. You're pretty sure you'll remember where you put them. Maybe. Then at the start of halftime, aliens invade. You rush out and you single-handedly conquer them with a ray gun you build and power from the local nuclear reactor. I told you that key card would come in handy. And you get back in time for the second half of the game. Now, normally with this much distraction, you'd forget all about the receipts. But when hiding the receipts away while cleaning, those are air quotes, the apartment, you just set a future reminder for after the big game to rescue the receipts from behind the couch. Use future reminders to follow up. You can also use future reminders for follow-up. You go to a conference and you bring home dozens of business cards, most of which you never touch again. Instead, when you actually do want to follow up with someone, make a future reminder for the day after the conference to send that person a follow-up email. In the notes section of the reminder, write a reminder of who they are and anything that you'll want to mention in your email. What you spoke about, common interests, how you think you can help each other. In a reminder program that handles attachments, you can even snap a photo of their business card. The next day, your phone will remind you to reach out to that person and you'll have everything you need to make your message personal and relevant. They'll be so impressed, they'll propose. But be very careful before you accept. Anyone who proposes on the basis of a single interaction is not demonstrating careful judgment. Use future reminders for wrapping something up. You can also use future reminders to keep details from falling through the cracks. I sometimes ask people for help choosing headshots, and so I put a whole bunch of them up on Google Photos so that my people have access. I love having people. If you don't have people, I highly recommend getting some. But those headshots shouldn't be floating around the internet once the selection is done. A simple reminder, set for 2 weeks in the future, will remind me to take them down. And if only my neighbors would follow this advice with their holiday decorations, it would be glorious. I'm writing this episode in August. Modern-day reminders have come to the rescue. Take a deep breath. Much easier now that you have your Albanian nose clippers, courtesy of a location-based reminder. Now settle back, securely knowing that you can set reminders based on location, time, and date. You can have your phone tell you when you're in the area to do a non-urgent errand that you've been meaning to do. You can reduce interruptions during a trip by scheduling delayed trip cleanup actions. And when you stash something in a temporary hiding place, a delayed reminder can save you when it's time to find it again. And when starting a project, a delayed reminder can be the best at making sure you clean up all the loose ends when they're no longer needed. Note to self for next time I'm near the hardware store, buy a dustpan. I'm getting hair clippings everywhere. I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I coach people in leadership, general management, entrepreneurship, and communication skills. If you want to know more, visit steverobbins.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. You'll also get a free copy of my secret book chapter on how to build relationships that help you succeed. Work less, do more, and have a great life.